husband was he tested positive and a lot of things. Okay. Good day and welcome you all to this WEF session on content is no longer king, but relevant content is. And to speak to us on this topic, we have Dr. Ikena Finch. I was having a brief chat with her, as in when I read her profile as it is, I said, wow, there's somebody who's achieved so much in such a short time. She's quite young. And the brief chat that I had with her sort of reinforced that for me. She's been an educator. She was mentioning that she became a dean at the age of 32. She's had a very illustrious career in academics. And after that, she's really doing a wonderful job. She's having a flourishing career in social media as a podcaster, as a social media coach, and a sought after speaker. And she's won several awards. I can see the long list, which I don't want to read out in the interest of time, because I'm sure all of us are just waiting to listen to her. She runs a company called Finch and Associates. Another thing that really caught my attention was that she is providing a social media platform for the minorities, people whose voices are the lesser heard generally. So we will hopefully also hear her speak a little about that. If you want more details, of course, you can go to her website, socialpowersummit.com. I'm sure you'll get more information there. But without further delay, let's get started. So I hand you over to Dr. Ikena Finch. Over to you.
Thank you so much. It is an honor and a privilege to speak on content is no longer relevant, but content is no longer king, but relevant content is. And so a little background about me. I am a podcaster. I'm a social media consultant. And I help people create a demand for their supply using social media and technology. So I am very aware of the importance of relevant content. A lot of times as a speaker or as a product consultant or whatever you do and whatever you're putting out on your social media and or your website about what you do, we tend to gravitate to what we want to see. And that is probably the first mistake in making relevant content. Our content really needs to be more catered to our audience, because the point of the content is to inform them, to educate them, to influence them to move to their next level using the content that you provide. And if they're not interested in being educated, informed, or moving to their next level, then your content is going to sit on the shelf, i.e. the supply, and you will not have any demand. But then you might be that lucky person that has all this demand because they heard you speak once or twice or saw you do these great things, and then you haven't put out a single piece of content. And then that's the whole other end of the spectrum. How do we satisfy that demand for the content that we have not even created, right? So that is the point of having relevant content, whether it be an overflow of it or the need to create it. Alrighty, so let's talk about relevant content. You can deliver it in several different ways. My personal favorite is live streaming. Why is that my personal favorite? Because people can know, like, and trust you a lot faster. They know your inflections. They see your passion. They're feeling the relevance within them as you are speaking, and especially storytelling, which is my favorite, as you can probably tell by now. People can truly see themselves in the situation that you're talking about. And that makes the content what? More relevant to them. They can see themselves uplifting. They can see themselves transforming. They can see themselves making the change that you are describing. Okay? And because of that, that's when your content becomes relevant. That's when you are creating that demand for your supply. Okay? Then you also have, so let's say you're not a video person, which is okay. You know, there's a lot of people that are not. You know, that's where the audio lives come in. You can have a great speech, and let's say the video was bad. That's okay, but the content was good. So you could cut that video right out of there, take that video out, and then post it on a nice little picture and make an audiogram. Okay. And that way you can put it on social media, you can put it on your websites, and they can click on that and listen to the presentation at hand. And they still have that nice, beautiful visual. Why? Because most people in the world are visual, right? And they still have that satisfaction, and they're still hearing that relevant content that makes them want to move to their greater. They want to use your content to make them go to a better place in life. And that's what we all really want to do, right? We want to be that catalyst to make somebody greater by using our content. And I mean, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to be that catalyst to make this world a better place just by something that we created, right?
Absolutely.
So then the next one, after you have your live streaming, after you have your audio, then you have your visuals. You know, those beautiful little videos where you may not have any sound, but you can still flow with the story. You know, a lot of times people say, "Oh, my voice is horrible," but I can make a beautiful doodly, or I can make a beautiful tunely, you know, and let them see how follow the steps of how to sign up for my product, or how to sign up for a course or whatever. Those little tunelies and doodlies, you can see a lot of business owners are now using those quick 1 minute videos, but they are power packed. Content doesn't have to be long to be strong. Okay, I want to be real clear. A lot of people are putting out these big 30-minute elaborate situations that they could have really done in 1 minute, 2 minute stops. And guess what? People's attention span leaves about 5 to 10 minutes. So you done did all this 30-minute grandeur and they cut out about it 5 minutes. So, you know, let's keep people's attention span in mind when we're making this content as well. That's why social media is so pop, pop, pop. Because if you don't catch their attention here, then what they do, like and leave, look and scroll. And that's not the point of you spending all that time. No, you want them to like and stay. You want them to like and comment. You want them to absorb this hard work that you done put into it. That's what makes it relevant. If you see a lot of people liking and leaving, it was cute, but it didn't catch my attention. It was nice, but that's not what I need right now. So that's why you need to know your avatar when we're talking about content to make relevant. Okay? What does your person like? What does your person need? What is your person doing in the middle of the day? And people are like, wow, you got to know all of that. Yes, because that's what builds that know, like, and trust factor. People have to know you, then they got to like you, then they have to trust you before they make the PayPal link. Okay? And that's the same thing with your content. Your content is helping them know, like, and trust you so that when you do come out with a product, what happens? The PayPal links, or they invite you to a speaking engagement, or they make you their coach. That's why content needs to be relevant. Content has that much power, ladies and gentlemen, that much power. And when we are just putting out stuff just to put it out there, we're not harnessing and leveraging that power that we could truly create to make that community that needs to know what we hold inside of us. That information is going to be a catalyst to what? Their greater. That's why we need to work on our content relevancy. So we talked about a few things. We talked about live streaming. We talked about audiograms. We talked about visuals, different graphics, different video only doodlies, things like that. And then finally, the power of the word. Yes, I'll put a graphic up there and it'll have a little quote on it. But then what happens? I'll put a synopsis up there at the top to truly get their attention, to truly resonate. That's where I put my storytelling into it. If you're not doing a video to storytell, you can storytell in your copy. And that's what, which is up there at the top there. And take them on a journey. Let them know you still understand. Because, sometimes you may be at a place where you can't watch a video, but you can read. And as you're reading, that person is resonating. They're resonating with the content. They're seeing themselves in the story. They're seeing that you are the solution to their problem. And then they click the button to find out more. And that's what you want them to do. You want them to feel what you are giving. You want them to feel that you are the answer. You want them to feel that once they finish working with you, their problems are going to be solved. That makes relevant content. Whether you're trying to inform them about a cause, whether you're trying to educate them about a topic, or if you are trying to let them know about something that's going to make them better, you want to make sure that your content is relevant to them and their situation. So know your avatar, know their age, their gender, their career, know their likes so that you can tailor your copy, tailor your videos, tailor your content so that they can resonate with the content. And once they resonate with the content, they want to not only know more about the content, but they want to know about the content giver. And then in the process, you have now built a follower, which will turn into a loyal customer, which will turn into a cheerleader of your brand and a member of your community. So that is why you should have relevant content. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ikena. I have one question, and I'm not sure if people can put up questions here. We could probably have one question from the audience if somebody can put it up in the chat box. I will try to see if it comes up here. The question that I have for you is you've moved from a field like academics to social media. They're like completely two ends of the spectrum. Typically, academics are very, very low profile people. They do research, they publish, they teach and all that, but they don't really put themselves out there. So what was that initial journey for you, and what are some of the early mistakes that you made while you were into this?
Oh, that was interesting. Actually, I ended up being in education. I did do a little education first. And then as I was helping soldiers find jobs in 2018, I discovered LinkedIn out of all things to help them find jobs and learn how to communicate. Well, in the process, I was building a network for them, and I was also building a community for myself.
Okay.
So people were resonating with the things that I was saying and the things that I was doing for the soldiers, and they actually started doing it for themselves, and they started learning more about their job search and different things. And from there, I started teaching social media. Okay. And so I think a few of the mistakes was, not having clean pictures. I realized that people are very visual. And if the picture is as clear or as descriptive as possible, they can see themselves in it. And a visual person, if the visual is not attractive, they'll keep scrolling, no matter what the content up there at the top is. So you have to attract people to your social media with their particular learning style. That's why I usually have a clear video, I have good audio, and I have good lighting so that that person is, oh, that looks interesting. Now let me listen to what they have to say, or let me listen or read the top pieces. So making sure that the stuff is attractive is first. Then making sure that it's relevant. A lot of times I would say my thoughts and feelings on certain things. And then other things, it would be, oh, here's a great product. Let me do a synopsis on that. I found out that my audience are thought leaders. But if my people were more music people, that wouldn't attract it. So I had to learn how to write copy and present my social media to the audience that is attracted to me. So sometimes I may not feel that way, but I had to give it to my audience. And that is another mistake. Sometimes we put whatever we're feeling, and that's not where our audience resonates. So those are two things that was, once I caught on to that, catapulted my social media to greatness.
So what are some tips and techniques that people can use to make sure that their content on social media is not only relevant, but also visually appealing? And because most of us are not pros at it, right? So let's say I don't want to use an agency, I just want to try and do this on my own. Maybe it's too cumbersome for me to keep going to an agency. So how do I go about it?
Well, a lot of the graphics, a lot of people are now using things like Canva. Canva is a great way to have your brand colors together, be able to copy your logos and put them in on the side, as a PNG versus a JPEG. PNGs take the backgrounds out of things, so your logo will pop out better than if it's on this big white box and you have this beautiful blue background, things like that. So I would invest in a Canva account. I have the pro account, but you can do a lot of things with the free account, of course. If you are a visual person and your people like little videos and pitch things, Doodly and Toonly are great ways to create those little quick videos that you can pop on your social media or pop on your website for quick little advertisements. And you can write little notes in there and make the little hand move and all that. So that's another way to stimulate a kinesthetic learner because they see the thing doing. So that is great. And it also helps the visual learner. Another thing that can help you with your social media is something called InShot. So if you want to make videos that have the little wrappers around it, you have the video in the center and you have words on the top and words on the bottom, InShot can do that for you. If you made a cute little video, but you want to size it for your Instagram story, it will take that same video and shrink it down so it fits into your Instagram story so that you can have a more visually appealing video. You can actually add your borders and your different branding to that as well. There's plenty of different tools out there that'll help you make different appealing little videos. Then, of course, if you do a lot of live streaming, you can take what Canva right here did my background. I went in there, designed a little background, and you could put your name and all that different type of things in there. And now you have a beautiful presentation space, no matter where you're sitting. So those are some of the things that I would recommend for that. And then finally, for posting, you have the different Hootsuites and things like that. But believe it or not, Facebook has auto posting, Instagram has scheduling, Twitter has scheduling now. So you can actually do a lot of things on your own without an agency.
Thank you. On a different note, I'm really keen to know a little bit about this Social Power Summit. Can you tell
Okay.
us about this platform? How does it work? And how do you get people to get the right content in? What are some of your experiences there?
Wonderful. So the Social Power Summit was created in 2018. It came about when there was a large social media conference in the US, and they have 200 speakers plus every year. And when I looked at it, there was only uh, four people of my descent, and none of them were female.
Okay.
So did I feel like I was included? Did I feel like I was wanted? No, not really. Even though I have great content, I have a huge following, and so what do I do? I come up with a conference where people who are people of color in STEM and social media, and then of course women in STEM, have a place to come and present that great content. And we had 18 speakers,
Mhm.
and we had yes, we did have Caucasians as well, but we had a variety of different people of color as well, and they shined. The people that came to that conference left with connections. They left with different fresh ideas, not the same thing going on, and they actually elevated. To this day, I see a lot of the conference attendees, and I see a lot of the conference speakers, and I watch them shine in their greatness. um, so this time is virtual, and we're going to have 50-minute, I'm sorry, with 10-minute questions, workshops on how to create content and promotion. So
Okay.
for side hustlers, for PR people, people that need PR and want to do their own PR, people that are trying to make blogging communities, people learning how to sell through funnels with their content. I mean, the list goes on and on. People who want to learn how to publish their books and how to promote their books. Anything that you have been thinking about that you may have been stuck, we're going to show you about how to create that content and do those promotions. And it will be a fresh audience you've never seen before. And when you come, please bring your pencil and paper. We're going to have a workbook for you, and we want you to come out with a plan. So that is another aspect of the conference that's great as well.
Okay. So supposing I'm a coach and I want to do a podcast, so,
Mhm.
how do I reach out to you, and how does this thing work?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So you can find me on all social media handles at DRAD Finch,
Mhm.
or you can find me at my email, Ikena at IkenaFinch.com. That's AIKYNA at AIKYNAFINCH.com.
Mhm.
And please reach out. We also have a podcast as well. So if our synergies work, we would love to interview you as well.
Mhm.
And this is a thing. I love networking. I love helping people. And I love seeing people get to their greater. And if there's any way that my information can do that for them, I want to know, and I want to be of assistance. And we would love to see you on September 11th and 12th at the Social Power Summit as well. So, yes.
Okay, so you're doing that. Um, just one question before we close, I guess. Is there something like too much of social media presence? Sometimes this could just be my perspective. I find people just putting up all kinds of things. Of course,
Mhm.
you've talked about the need for relevant content, no doubt, but even assuming that is there something like overdoing your social media sometimes?
Oh, yes.
Where do you draw a line?
Some of the lines are when you tag people in your content that has absolutely nothing to do with them. That shows that you're not paying attention to your audience. You're just trying to be seen.
Mm.
When you are jumping in their DMs and trying to push your product, and you've never even said hello or hi to them. that shows that you're doing the most. When you are constantly posting every 5 minutes on a platform where you can flood, like a Facebook. Now you can't really flood a person's timeline like on a Twitter, because that's a real time type of situation. But like Instagram and Facebook, when you are posting every 5 minutes just to be seen, and it has nothing to do with the person, that turns it off and they'll actually stop following you. They need the content to be relevant to them. They need the content to be timely, but they do not need to be flooded. So yes, there is a such thing as too much social media presence.
So what's an ideal frequency to do posting on a given medium?
Well, Facebook maybe once or twice a day. But it could be up to you know, every 1 or 2 days. That'll keep you relevant. Instagram, one day, 1 to 2 days. You want to keep the engagement going, but you don't want to flood them. Twitter is a good one. You can post up to 6 times a day and never get the same audience twice, because it's a real time situation. Now, if you have a very small audience, you can't flood them. But I have 23,000, so it's kind of like I can't really flood them. So judging on your size. So that's a good frequency, maybe 1 to 3 days.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Finch. It's really been wonderful having this conversation with you, and I have certainly learned a few things about social media and content. Uh, I think I'm still learning this journey, and I'm sure people out there have picked up a lot of useful points, and I'm sure there'll be people reaching out to you for more as well. Thank you so much for joining us. So before we close, I would like to present you with, on behalf of WEF, a virtual award. The citation, the soft copy will come to you in due course. I would like to present to you award of Iconic Woman, Creating a Better World for All. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Good day.
Good day.